Good afternoon, the world at noon. My name is Turayo Ayegbayo. In Nigeria, Ijesha Traditional Council describes Governor Oyetola as a pragmatic leader. Ghana Member of Parliament to prop COVID-19 funds. Saudi Crown Prince visits Turkey for the first time. Medical staff to be tried for football legends' deaths. Osun State Governor, Southwest Nigeria, Mr. Adegboyega Oyetola has been described as competent, pragmatic, and a leader par excellence with human heart that is capable in taking the state of Osun to an enviable height if re-elected at the forthcoming election. Ijesha North Traditional Council gave the perspective during the campaign rally in Ibokun and Ijebu-Jesha for the re-election of Governor Adegboyega Oyetola in the 16th July gubernatorial election. Governor's office correspondent Sanyawo Norinde is standing by for details.
The campaign train for the re-election of Governor Adegboyega Oyetola in the forthcoming gubernatorial election also pulled up at Ijesha North Federal Constituency, comprising Obokun Local Government Area, Obokun East Local Council Development Area, Oriade Local Government Area, as well as Oriade Local Council Development Area in the state of Osun, while receiving royal blessings at the Palace of Alademore of Ibokun, as well as the Palace of Elegboro of Ijebu-Jesha. Governor Oyetola, who commended the royal fathers for their prayers with positive results, said that more developmental projects and welfare policies are in the pipeline if re-elected in the forthcoming gubernatorial election. In their separate remarks, Owamiran of Esauke, Oba Adeyemi Adediran, Alademore of Ibokun, Oba Festus Awogboro, Ajalaye of Ipetu Ijesha, Oba Adeleke Agunbiade Elegboro of Ijebu-Jesha, Oba Moses Oluwafemi Agunsoye, on behalf of other traditional rulers and chiefs in the area, paid glowing tributes for the outstanding performance recorded, describing him as competent, pragmatic, a leader par excellence with humane heart, affirming that there is a need for good work to continue under the leadership of Governor Adegboyega Oyetola across the state, addressing the teeming crowd of party supporters at Ibokun roundabout as well as at Ijebu-Jesha market. Governor Oyetola noted that a vote for Oyetola in the forthcoming gubernatorial election represents a quantum leap towards the actualization of Yoruba presidency personified by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the benefit of all across the state of Osun, adding that he is poised to surpass what is currently unfolding in terms of meeting the yearnings and aspirations of the people across the state.
We recognize the fact that we have been existing for a while, but things are changing. I believe with the turnout and the performance during the primary, I believe it's not the same thing. We are making serious inroads to win based on the performance of the government. So, as a party, we are winning.
The state chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Prince Gboyega Famodun, the Director General of Oyetola's Campaign Council, Senator Ajibola Bashir, as well as the leadership of the All Progressive Congress in Ijesha North Federal Constituency, including Otumba Jumoke Ogunkeyede, Alhaji Nasir Komonlafe, Honorable Natalie Agunbiade, Honorable Bosun Oyetiloye, among other speakers who were pretty much eloquent in reeling out the laudable achievements recorded in all ramifications across the state, enjoined the resident to reciprocate the good gesture in the forthcoming gubernatorial election in sustaining the good governance. Dignitaries on the campaign train with Governor Adegboyega Oyetola, including the wife of the governor, Mrs. Kafayat Oyetola, the deputy governor, Mr. Benedict Alabi, Mrs. Oyefunke Alabi, former Deputy Governor, Mrs. Grace Titilayo Ponle, Chief of Staff to the Governor, Dr. Charles Akinola, members of the State Executive Council, members of the State House of Assembly, the leadership and members of the All Progressive Congress from across the state. From the Governor's Office, Saya Onuinde reporting.
Ghana's lawmakers have approved a plan to open an investigation into the use of $1.5 billion of COVID-19 funds in the country. It follows alleged discrepancies in receipts and payments presented to the Parliament by Finance Minister Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta. Opposition member of Parliament said the minister had failed to give a convincing explanation when he appeared before Parliament. But the minister said the government had been accountable and transparent in the use of the funds. Parliament Speaker Mr. Alban Pagin nevertheless ordered the parliamentary committees on finance and health to investigate the management of the funds. The money was allocated to contain the spread of the virus and cushion Ghanaians against the economic impact of the pandemic. The Taliban in Afghanistan have appealed for international support as the country deals with the aftermath of a devastating 6.1 magnitude earthquake. More than 1,000 people have been killed and at least 1,500 injured. Information has it that unknown numbers are buried in the rubble of ruined, often mud-built homes. Report has it that southeastern Pakistan province has been worst hit, and the UN is scrambling to provide emergency shelter and food aid. Rescue efforts have been hampered by heavy rain and lack of resources. Survivors and rescuers told newsmen the village is completely destroyed near the epicenter of the quake of wind rods and mobile phone towers, and of their face that the death toll will rise further. The deadliest earthquake to strike the country in 2 decades is a major challenge for the Taliban, the Islamist movement which regained power last year after the Western-backed government collapsed. Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince has visited Turkey for the first time since the 2018 murder of the journalist Jamal Khashoggi in the Istanbul consulate. Turkey President Mr. Erdogan has embraced Saudi President Mohammed bin Salman before the health talks aimed at repairing a deep rift. Mr. Erdogan once indirectly accused the prince of ordering Saudi agents to kill Khashoggi. He denied any involvement. Turkey is currently seeking trade, investment, and assistance to help it deal with a worsening economic crisis. It has also worked to improve relations with the United Arab Emirates, Egypt, and Israel after years of tensions. Information has it that the two men discussed improving relations and investment in sectors from energy to defense, among others. This is the word at noon, coming to you from Osun State Broadcasting Corporation, Iliawi Okebale Oshogo, Voice of the West. Now, our mid-news message. For your dreams, but do not lose yourself along the way. Sometimes the way to greatness takes creating your own path. 8 medical personnel accused of criminal negligence in the death of legendary Argentina footballer Mr. Diego Maradona are to stand trial. A judge has ordered a culpable homicide trial after a medical panel found Maradona's treatment was rife with deficiencies and irregularities. Maradona died in November 2020 of a heart attack in Buenos Aires at age 60. He had been recovering at home from surgery on a brain blood clot earlier that month. A few days after his death, Argentine prosecutors launched an investigation into the doctors and nurses involved in his care. Last year, the panel of 20 experts appointed to examine his death found Maradona's medical team acted in an inappropriate, deficient, and reckless manner. According to the court ruling, it also concluded that the footballer would have had a better chance of survival with adequate treatment in an appropriate medical facility. Among those facing charges are Maradona's neurosurgeon and personal doctor, a psychiatrist and psychologist, 2 doctors, 2 nurses, and their boss. They have all denied responsibility for his death. Information has that all 8 will be tried on a legal definition of homicide based on negligence committed in the knowledge that it may lead to a person's death. A date for the trial is yet to be set. A police chief has accused of botching the response to the fatal shooting of 19 school children and 2 teachers in Texas has been put on leave. The head of the school district police force, Mr. Pedro Rento, has been blamed for law enforcement delays in confronting the gunman. Defending his actions, the 50-year-old has said he did not think he was the official in charge at that time. Public anger has risen as more details of the 24th May attack emerge. State lawmakers are investigating why police waited for more than an hour outside the Rapp Elementary School classroom in which the assailant had barricaded himself before Atsi made entry. School district superintendent said that he had placed Mr. Randall on administrative leave with immediate effect until results of the investigations is out. He said he had originally planned to wait until the investigation was complete before making personal decisions, but is still without details of what the inquiry has found. And here again are the highlights of the world at noon. Governor, Southwest Nigeria, Mr. Adegboyega Oyetola, has been described as competent, pragmatic, and a leader par excellence with human heart that is capable in taking the state of Washington to an enviable height if re-elected in the forthcoming election. Ghana's lawmakers have approved a plan to open an investigation into the use of $1.5 billion of COVID-19 funds in the country. Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince has visited Turkey for the first time since the 2018 murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi in its Istanbul consulate. 8 medical personnel accused of criminal negligence in the death of legendary Argentine footballer Mr. Diego Maradona are to stand trial. And that was the word of noon, edited by Polishola Egbodofo and delivered by Moturayo Ayegbayo. For more about us, you can visit www.osbcng.org. Thanks for listening. Good afternoon.